and welcome to my channel. I should probably start with my name. My name's Charlotte. I've got a few videos in here, but this is my first book related video, and I'm hoping to put out a few more of these over the next couple of weeks, months. I always say like, oh, I'm gonna post like regularly. No, it's always like one video, 6-year hiatus, back again with my like 30 subscribers, if that. But anyway, welcome to this video. I think today I'm just going to talk about like my favourite books of 2021, and I know like I'm a bit late to the trend, like it's 2022 now, but that's besides the point, and I'm going to do it anyway. So this first series that I'm going to talk about was actually the first couple of books that I read in 2021, and they were really the books that got me back into reading, because I was one of those kids, like I was really passionate about reading when I was younger, then went to secondary school, kind of fell out of it a bit because, you know, school stress, but these really did bring me back into it. This is the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. Don't know if that's going to focus. There we go. Not really. Anyway, I really love this series. I've seen quite a few people saying they were disappointed by it on social media, mainly things like TikTok, because I think that the issue is, especially on like Book Talk, I think this series is really pitched as like an enemies to lovers romance story, which, I mean, in my opinion, just isn't really that at all. There's like crumbs of romance in this, but I think it's much more about kind of the politics of the whole world. Jude, the main character, I love Jude, her kind of like strategies to like gain power and move up in this society that's just completely against her. Yeah, I just really love this series. I would say my favourite out of the series was probably The Wicked King. I think it had the most going on in terms of, you know, like kind of the plot, just taking all different sorts of twists and turns, and then character development. Jude's character development in The Wicked King was mwah, chef's kiss. And I also really love how the King of Elfhame learned to hate stories. I think it's a really gorgeous little novella with absolutely gorgeous illustrations throughout. That was probably not the best example, but yeah, you can see what I mean. Some really, really pretty illustrations throughout the whole thing. I think it was just a really nice way to kind of bring in more information about Carden, the other main character, and kind of like his backstory. But yeah, I would really recommend this series. I just absolutely loved it. I feel like I might cause some controversy with this one, only because it feels like it's like Marmite as a book. Like, most of the people I see talking about it either absolutely loved it or absolutely hated it. And it's We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I loved this book, to be honest. It's only like 230 pages, is it? Let me see. Yeah, 225. So, you know, like short and sweet, but it was just like the perfect summer vibe for when I was reading it. I read it like spring going into summer, but summer is my favourite season, so I was just like, oh, get me to summer. And this just had the exact kind of summer vibes I was looking for, because it's set in like different summers throughout the years, and I always love a book with like flashbacks and flash forwards, and it was just one of these where it like kept me guessing the whole way through. Could not have predicted the ending whatsoever, and I love a book like that where I just didn't see the ending coming. So this was definitely one of my 5-star reads for 2021. So this book I'm about to talk about completely changed my outlook on things, and that's still stuck with me now. Like, it wasn't just one of those where, you know, you finish a book and you're like, whoa, but then you wake up and you're just the same the next day. Like, this stuck with me for weeks, and even now, like, sometimes I'll just think about it and be like, whoa. So it's They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I feel like this had such an impact on me because like my whole life I've kind of had this, like, you know, as a lot of people do, this whole like death anxiety sort of situation. I really related to Mateo in this book about that kind of death anxiety, but this just like changed my outlook on everything, and I think really has taught me to kind of appreciate life a lot more than I did before I read this book. it was just absolutely incredible. And I think any book that sticks with you for that amount of time and makes you think that much is deserving of 5 stars immediately. So along that same kind of morbid vein, this is actually a non-fiction book by my favourite YouTuber ever. I don't know if any of you have heard of Ask a Mortician. I absolutely love her. So this is one of her books called From Here to Eternity, Travelling the World to Find Good Death. And it's all about kind of like death culture across the world and how it's different to that of the West, really, or specifically America, because Britain's mentioned a few times, but we have even more so than America, a lot more conservative kind of approach to death. But I was just so intrigued by this and by, you know, how different cultures treat death. It was just one of the most interesting books that I read the whole year, and I can't wait to read it again because I'm planning on a reread for this in 2022. So this book I have not seen nearly as much hype for on like Book Talk, Book Twitter as I thought I would, but I absolutely loved it. It's The Girls Ive Been by Tess Sharp. I think that's actually being adapted to screen with Millie Bobby Brown playing the main character, which if so, I'm very excited about because I think she would do an incredible job as playing the main character in this. I just really loved this. Even the story itself was incredible, really fast paced, flashbacks and flash forwards, kind of like a mystery vibe, like it kept you guessing. But even down to things like bisexual representation, endometriosis representation, never seen that in a book before. I mean, I'm sure it probably does exist in other books, but in the books that I've read, never seen that before. But one of the main characters in this has endometriosis, and it's talked about quite a lot, which I think is really important in terms of sort of destigmatizing things like periods and endometriosis. Overall, I just absolutely loved this. It was actually recommended to me by a friend, and I'm so glad she recommended it to me because this was genuinely one of my favourite reads of all of 2021. I've just been laughing at myself for the reason why I like this book so much, right? So the book is A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Cover. I have the sequel here, but I haven't read it yet. They're basically standalone books set in the same universe, but I think some of the characters from this do feature in this. I liked the elves. Yeah, that's my official opinion on this book. No, I just loved the story. I don't know what to tell you. It was one of them where it's like, it's not like with my absolute favourite books where I like have like a 13-page essay on all the reasons why it was incredible. It was just one of them where I finished it and I was like, I really loved that. Like it was just a good story. I don't know what to tell you. And the elves. And the elves in this had like Lord of the Rings elves vibes, which I loved. I'm about to flex some pretty books here, but The Infernal Devices. Like a hug in books. Actually, not like a hug in books. These books broke my heart, but in the best way possible. These are my really pretty Illumicrate editions of them, which are like my little prized possessions. I love them so much. These books, man. Like, okay, so I read The Mortal Instruments when I was younger, so I already had like quite a nostalgic thing with like the Shadowhunters Chronicles, but I hadn't read The Infernal Devices yet. Absolutely amazing. Tessa is incredible. I love her. She's the main character. Again, strong female protagonist. We love. Will and Jem as well. I'm thinking about this and then I'm like, Cecily. There are so many characters that I just absolutely adore in this series. There are a couple of points where it felt more character driven than plot driven, but to be honest, for me that's fine because I love characters are what I stay for in a book. Do you know what I mean? Like if I love the characters, there's not going to be a problem, and I adored the characters in this. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say. Like it's just Victorian London angst and Shadowhunters. And Magnus Bane, I love Magnus Bane. He's my favourite character in like the whole of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. So yeah, just read this series. I absolutely adored it, and I can't wait to start The Last Hours. I'm starting it very soon, so hopefully The Last Hours will feature on my favourite reads of 2022 video next year. Okay, so before we get to my absolute favourite reads of the year, I realised while editing that I didn't mention Red, White and Royal Blue, and this was definitely one of the best things I read this year, so I just didn't want to not include it, so here it is, being included. Okay, on to the next part of the video. Okay. I need to emotionally prepare myself before I talk about these books. I feel like if you've looked at my bookshelf throughout this video and noticed which two books or which two editions of books are missing, you know what I'm about to talk about. I'm just like obsessed. Okay, so it's These Violent Delights duology by Chloe Gong. There are no words. There are genuinely no words. Chloe Gong is quite possibly one of the most insanely talented writers I have ever come across. And she's also one of the youngest, like, New York best-selling writers. She's incredible. But this duology, when I say it's everything to me, I mean, you can see my little display I've got going up there. It is everything to me. Like, I have never loved a series and I've not even finished this one. Like, I'm that terrified of finishing it that I've not even finished it yet. Okay, so it's set in 1920s Shanghai, and it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but imagine that Romeo and Juliet are the heirs of rival gangs. It's just absolutely perfect in every way, and it's not even like you know, books that have like lovable side characters but you're not that invested. No, you're invested with every single person's life in this book. These books, these are the Fairy Loot editions. I actually just got this one today, which I'm obsessed with. It's so pretty. I love pink, so it makes me very happy. There is nothing I can say, just like please read these books. They are literally my life. Okay, they're not my life, but like near enough. Honestly, I'm just absolutely obsessed. They're just incredible. Like, it's the fact for me that I've not even finished this, but it's like my favourite book of 2021. And I've not even finished it yet because I'm that scared for the ending. I'm like 75% in, I think. But yeah, please read these books. Please. Okay, if you made it to the end, congratulations, because that was one hell of a rambling session. So thanks for watching to the end if you're here. Yeah. This was really fun to make, to be honest. And I hope that I'm actually going to stick to what I said I was going to do and have like a regular posting schedule. It's probably gonna be like once a month, I'll be honest. But yeah, so I read 30 books. Yeah, 30 books in 2021. My reading goal for 2022 is 50, which I think I can make. The only reason I feel like I didn't read more in 2021 was because I had my A-levels. So I was kind of stressed. But yeah, so out of all the books I read in 2021, they were my favourites. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have a spare second, like and subscribe. It's so shameful saying that, but it would actually mean a lot. So yeah, thank you.